grab it really quick, we would love for you to grab that cup. So we might like hold it up and take a fun little picture. I just think it'll be kind of fun. So if you have that nearby where you can get to it and it's not a chore, go ahead and grab that. Um, I will tell a very quick little snippet about me. My name is Blakelee Rausin. I have got 3 girls. I'm from Arkadelphia, Arkansas. And I have been with Plexus about 3 years. It'll be 3 years in May. So, if you are already on the products, will you drop a 1 in the chat? And if you haven't tried the products, or maybe you haven't gotten your order in the mail yet, will you put a 2 so that we kind of know where everyone is at on that? And yeah, that's a little bit about me. Also, if you could tell us who invited you to this call. So, like, if you're already taking the products, who is your sponsor? Or if there's someone you've been talking to about Plexus and, that's why you got an invite, let us know that as well, because we just kind of want to be able to pair people up. But Brittney, I'm going to let you take it away.
Sounds good. Okay, I'm Brittney Duke. Like I said, I live in New Braunfels, Texas. It's kind of between Austin and San Antonio are the biggest cities. And you're probably like on this call and you're like, what the cup, We kind of wanted to put that on the invitation and we didn't know if anyone would laugh at that, but I think it's funny. So, we really truthfully just wanted to be able to invite a large group of awesome people together who we think would be amazing at doing this and sharing this opportunity of Plexus. And I want to tell y'all a quick story first. One time I was kind of tricked into like coming to one of these, like this network marketing presentation. And basically here's how it went down. I met this girl and we were kind of chit chatting and she was like, oh, let's have coffee one time. And I was like, okay, that'd be great. Like, I love to meet new moms. She had kids my age. So I show up at the coffee shop and her mother-in-law is with her. And I was like, well, no big deal. That's fine. But we sit down to drink coffee and her mother-in-law like whips open this laptop and she's like, so what do you know about the company that they were talking about? And I was like, I'm sorry, I did not realize I was showing up to learn about these products I don't know about. And so I share that story because like we want y'all to know from the get-go, we are here to share like why we started talking about Plexus, why we have started using this as an extra source of income. Like, I am not trying to trick you. In the invitation, I was telling y'all this is what we're doing. So I just want to let y'all know that I do feel like Plexus is truly the way network marketing should be done, but rarely ever is. And that story right there, like, made me really happy. I was like, I joined the right company. So, I mean, we really wanted to just get everyone together to let y'all know that it is our mission that more people see network marketing as an opportunity to be had. A lot of people have their own certain thoughts about it, and we want to let y'all know that like this is not weird. This is the future. This is how companies now are spreading the word about their products. For instance, I do this clothing subscription thing, and I go in, I pick my clothes, they deliver it on my doorstep. I love it. Let me know if you want the name for it. But when I tell my friends about it and when they order, they get $20 off and I get $20 off. And like, that's not weird. I gave them a great recommendation. Like, I think Maddie signed up and did it. And so it's one of those things where it's like, that's what this is. It's sharing about things that you love and that you are taking, but you're actually going to get compensated for it. Unlike Target, where like, they're not going to do that when you tell them like, oh, I found the cutest cat in Jack shoes today. So, we just know that like some of you guys like are here and you're kind of unsure. And so we just wanted to thank you. Thank you for being here and thank you for hopping on. You were invited for a specific reason. The person who invited you sees something in you where they know you could be successful at this. We know some of y'all haven't tried the products. Our products truthfully speak for themselves and we have so many testimonies on our products, but we're here to talk about the business side of things. And whenever I first started, truthfully, guys, I was not open-minded to sharing. I started the products over 4 years ago, and I actually waited over a year to start telling anyone that I was taking these products. And my sponsor very nicely would just kind of tell me like, hey, you should make a post about that. You're seeing these wonderful wins. You're loving the products. why aren't you telling people about it? And I was like, no, I'm good, girl. And that went on for over a year. I finally decided to start sharing, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this because it's COVID now. I was staying at home. I'm actually a physical therapist, but during COVID, I was pregnant. And so I wasn't working in acute care anymore. And I started staying home with my two kids. And before you know it, those walls get real close to you whenever you're not really leaving the house very much. And I truthfully needed something else. I needed connections. I needed to have something for me. And once I made my first post, I got that. It felt so fulfilling to be able to start helping people to have those health conversations that I was used to having in that physical therapy role, but not being in the clinic, I was missing out on that. But then eventually I went back to work, and I kept sharing because I realized how many people needed this. And I also realized that it was something I could work into my day, and it was worth it. I had met some awesome people. I was making good money, and I was like, well, I don't know why I would stop doing this just because I'm back at work. And so my biggest holdup, I think, at the beginning was I was kind of afraid of being salesy. Like I was like, I don't know how to do this. Like, how do I do this without feeling like super salesy? And now that I've been doing this for a while, and really what got me into this is my thoughts on that are that, well, then don't be salesy, like be you. Ask people if this is something they're interested in. And if they are, open that conversation. And if they're not, that's okay. If you start serving the person behind the conversation, you're not going to feel salesy at all because you're getting to know them and you're trying to see if these products could be a fit for them. So that's kind of a really quick snippet of why I started sharing. But mine and Blakelee's stories are actually a little different. She wasn't quite as stubborn in that as I was. And so Blakelee, I'd love to hear like why you started sharing. Were you nervous? Like what thoughts were going through your head?
Right. And that's to say that I wasn't as stubborn as somebody is a big statement because that is one of my traits that I passed down to at least two of my kids. So I will say I did wait. I wasn't one who joined and immediately was like, yes, I want a business. But a few months in, when I figured out that I had fallen in love with them and it was something I was going to want to keep ordering, it didn't fit in my budget like I wanted it to. And so I just wanted to get my products paid for. So she told me, if you add two or three people, you wouldn't have to pay for your products for a few months. And I was like, okay, like I'll tell a few friends about it, but I'm not putting it on my social media. I'm not doing any of that. And she said, okay, well, let's get on a call and we can just kind of chat about some options for you. And I was like, okay. Well, we FaceTimed, me and my sponsor FaceTime. Well, she was in a car with a group full of girls and they were headed to Nashville for a Plexus convention. And they were having so much fun. And I thought, I want to be a part of that. Like I wasn't in a sorority in college. I've always been one of those girls that kind of like hung out with guys a little bit more. Like I've just never had a good girls group. And I really, really longed for that. And I didn't even realize that I longed for that until I saw that I didn't have it. And then it was like, I kind of want to do that. And so I said, okay, fine. I'll make a post. And she goes, okay, go type it out, send it to me, and I'll let you know if I have any edits. So I went and just typed out basically a post of how I was feeling and how I had more energy and how I didn't want to sit on the couch and just play like Barbies or cards with the kids all the time. And then my DMs were popping. And I was like, wasn't expecting all this. So I've got, at that time, I had two kids, full-time job. My husband's schedule is all over the place. And so I always said I was a married single mom because it was like me and the kids all the time. And I thought, what did I just sign up for? I don't have time to be on my phone all the time and be messaging. And I don't want my kids to see me on my phone all the time. What have I done? And I really kind of freaked out. But I had this moment where I was like, I don't want to be that girl. I don't want to be that pink drink girl. I don't want to be that person. And very quickly, once I realized that people were interested, I was like, oh, okay, you're not that girl. Like people need this. People want this. People feel the same way that you felt, but I'm not going to have time to do this because it seemed like it was going to take my life over. Did you feel like, oh my gosh, I don't have time for this? Like it's going to take my whole life?
Yeah, good question. So when I started during COVID, I had a newborn baby. And so I don't know how many of y'all have kids, but I actually did a lot of work like when I was feeding her, like sitting on the couch or like late at night, whenever I was just like nursing, or then when I went back to work, it was like funny little pockets of my day. Cause as a physical therapist, like I'm not at a desk and just on my phone. And so I was like doing it, on my lunch hour a little bit here and there. I would do it like I would go pick up the kids at daycare and I'd sit in the car for like 5 minutes and respond to a couple messages, and then I get the kids. So I didn't have just this like sit down time to work my business for an hour a day. Like I was just putting it in for nooks and crannies. But to me, like that was fun and that was worth it. And so, yeah. Um, and truthfully, like what motivated me to keep going is I was just like, well, I was seeing success with it. People were feeling good. I think that's why it made it so easy, is because my customers were loving their products. And I was like, well, who's like the next person I'm going to help? Like it really made it worth it. And I loved, especially when I was staying at home during COVID. And now I'm actually haven't been practicing PT for the past year. I'm staying at home with my third baby. And I like that I'm able to be like, hey, guess what? I can pay for that. My husband has never been like the kind of person who is like forces me to like use my own money, but you know what? It feels dang good when I can. And it feels really nice whenever I can go buy him something. I earned him an Apple Watch last month, and that felt really good because I'm just staying home with my kid. And so I don't know, it was cool. And it also kind of fills my learning cup. I'm learning just more and more about our products all the time. I'm constantly learning about that. I'm learning about how to be a better leader. And truthfully, that has carried over into, I was a professor for a little bit, and I felt like I was using my leadership skills with my students. And so this is something that is trickled in and bled into so many aspects of my life, that I never would have learned otherwise. And it's so hard to comprehend that when you're not in it, because it's like, well, what do you mean? Like, this is Plexus, this is a pink drink, like what? You just don't know until you're in the community and surrounded by women who are cheering you on all the time. I don't get pats on the back for changing my baby's diaper throughout the day and unloading the dishwasher. But you know what? I have a team full of women that when I'm helping my team and doing great things, they are the first ones that are cheering me on every day. And I'm sorry, but that feels really good. And so, yeah, that's kind of like just what motivates me to keep going. And I personally like learning new things, but I know that some people, like when they get into new things, it's kind of like a little scary. What type of person are you? Are you like the type of person that give me all the new things? Or I don't know, you're an Enneagram 7, you're kind of fun. You probably like things like that, but how do you feel about it? Also, cheers.
I like for things to be fun. That is the Enneagram 7 in me coming out. I am a FOMO person all the way. Um, and that is what helped me a lot is, I made that first post. I asked her how she liked it. I kind of did a thing where I like posted it and it was like, do I delete it? What do I do? And then all of the girls on the team, I had never met actually more than half. I had only met maybe two or three of the people on this team, all hyping me up, and then all messaging me and just encouraging me. And I was like, whoa. And it was so cool to have that. And just like then it kind of like snowballed and it took off, and I was helping people, and that's all I was doing. I was helping, I was having fun. This is cool. And then it kind of got to a point of like, well, what do I have to do? Like, what are the requirements of me? And they were like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, I mean, now that I'm an ambassador and I'm not just a customer anymore, like, do I have to make a certain amount of sales each month, or do I have to hit and they were like, absolutely not. And I was like, well, am I going to lose like my discount? Because I mean, I don't want to pay full price. And they were like, no. And I've just always heard that about network marketing is like, you have this quota you have to meet or something. And it's like, no, not with Plexus. And so I really like that. I don't know. I haven't looked into a ton of other network marketing companies, but I have looked into a few, and it's a lot different here in the best way. So that actually like made me feel really good. But yet I haven't really needed that cushion because there hasn't been a month where like nothing happened. Um, and then honestly, I think I made it to probably the third or fourth rank before I knew what half of the stuff in like the virtual office meant. I didn't know what any of those numbers meant. I didn't know what any of the terminology meant. I was like, what's PV? But it was cool that like you don't have to know all of that. You just have to know how to love and serve people and really be passionate about what you're talking about. Um, so honestly, I made that first post, and my first three people, the way I got to my first rank and made that first $300, a college friend of mine reached out and she was having some gut health issues. A childhood like cheerleading friend that did like competitive cheer with me as a kid that I hadn't talked to in years at the time. She reached out. Both of these people, by the way, still take the products 3 years later. And then the third person was an old coworker, and she still takes the products as well. I worked with her at the state, and she reached out and was like, I used to do Plexus a long time ago and I loved it, but I quit. Like, is that what you're doing? And I was like, yes. What about you? How did you go to silver? Like, who were your first three people?
My first three people, my aunt, because I knew she was super constipated. My husband, because he kept stealing all my drinks, like my active and my pink drink. And so I was like, let's just make you an account because we're using the products anyways. And my, a good friend from my PT school class. And so she is like super into health and wellness. And whenever I posted to my stories, she responded. And, yeah, and they're all on the products as well. And yeah, my husband, the amount of active that we go through in 1 month is a little bit sad, but it's fine. We're just keeping the company alive, you know? Okay, what else? I'm trying to think. Yes, I took a little bit of notes because I otherwise would kind of go crazy, but, yeah, guys, honestly, we're wrapping up. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, we just want y'all to realize that, you don't have to know it all. Okay. You don't have to be some person who already knows about all the products before you decide you want to share. Like, that's what we're here for. That's what the person who invited you to this call is here for. They are here for whenever you decide you want to share and make a post and people message you and you go, oh crap, what do I say next? You message that person and you say, someone messaged me, like, what do I say? That's how it works. That's how we've all learned, because we don't expect you to be able to know everything before you begin. Last time I checked, there's no degree in any college for network marketing. I feel like it's coming, but you heard that idea here first. If it does, I would like credit. But yeah, we have lots of fun. We go on trips. I actually just recently missed a trip to Punta Cana that I earned, because there were a couple little moving pieces we could not figure out. But I see some girls on here, like I know Maddie was on there. I'm trying to see who else is on my screen. Blakelee went to that. I want to hear about Punta Cana. Don't tell me too much because I'm gonna be really jealous, but did you have fun?
I had a blast. It was the first trip that me and my husband have gone on without children since our honeymoon, so it was much needed. Um, we played a lot of volleyball in the pool, so you would have been there being like, Blakelee, you're not doing that right. Because I know that's like your thing is volleyball. We had a blast, and just like the time with my husband was great, the time with my team was great. We just You just don't realize how much you need a good trip until you have one. And I was really sad I didn't get to go on the cruise because my baby wasn't old enough and I like wasn't taking her yet. How old was Jack? Did you
I
get to
did
go on
go
the
on the
cruise?
cruise. He was
Okay.
like 9 months old.
Oh.
I did go on the cruise. It was super fun. We had a silent disco. My husband's never done a silent disco before, and I was like, oh, just you wait. We had the best time doing that. It was so silly and so funny. And truthfully, like, that's just what we do. We just have fun. And I'm the type of person where, yes, I love to have fun. I feel like I'm a really fun human, but when you're a mom and you're constantly responsible for other tiny humans, you forget to schedule those things in, or there's always something else that takes precedent. And I feel like with these trips, like when I earn these trips, or like we have convention coming up, it kind of forces me to put something fun on my schedule. if I earn a trip, if I earn a cruise, like I'm going. Okay. So then it's on the schedule. I know the trip's planned, it's paid for, and I just have to get my booty there. Right. And so for me, I'm the type of person where that's really nice because it kind of forces me to have fun. Would I go on trips otherwise? I mean, I would like to think so, but this is really nice doing several times a year. So yeah, honestly, this is the part of the call where we want to have a little bit of fun with y'all. We would love if you would like show your little cup right now, and let's see if anyone has theirs that they got in the mail. People got different cups. Okay, I'm seeing that one. Like we sent all sorts of different things. And oh, there's one. Okay. Yay, fun. And the next steps, truthfully, is if you're down and if you've listened to us and you're kind of like, "Dang, I don't know, this could be for me. This could be awesome." We would love if you're willing to explore next steps. We want you to stay on the call for 10 minutes and we're going to brainstorm some people who you think might love these products. We sent you a little piece of paper. Where is it? This little guy. Hey, we're going to brainstorm people who you think would love these products, and we're going to craft personal messages to send to them. And if you think we're a little bit crazy and you still have some reservations, a little bit more reservations than excitement, we still love you and we're so happy that you got on the call. We hope that you enjoy your cup and that you love it. And when you drink your pink drink from it, you just think about all the things that you're capable of, truthfully, and that you do have more control over your future than you might think in the moment right now. And whether that's with Plexus or not, we just want you to feel inspired to think outside the box and consider other options that might be a little bit unconventional. Like, I promise you won't die. Okay. So if you are in that second group of people and you don't really want to stay on the call, thank you for coming. You can hop off. Feel free to take pictures with your pink drink, tag us in your stories, whatever you want to do. And those of you that want to stay on and hear what's next, we've got 10 more minutes and we're going to do our giveaway. So y'all hang out and yeah.
All right. Are we ready?
Let's go.
All right. So, first things first, we need to work on this list. So if you have that sheet of paper, grab it. If it's somewhere you need to go run and grab it, you have about 30 seconds. So run fast and a pen. And we are going to put 3 minutes on the clock and we're just going to brainstorm. Luckily, it's broken out into little sections anyway. So teachers, friends, relatives. And so that kind of helps spark your brain a little bit anyways. And 3 minutes doesn't sound like a lot of time, but I promise if you are just being intentional and looking at that piece of paper, you'll be surprised how many people your brain thinks of. So, Brittney, do you have a timer? Okay, perfect.
Reading your mind already. I'm there.
Look at this. We're like this. All right, is everybody ready?
I just say on your mark, get set, go.
And
Minutes.
go.
Blakelee's got good music. Oh, and if you already are a part of Plexus, will y'all drop in the chat right now? Like, what are some of your favorite things about it? What trips have you gone on? Like, put in the chat so that when people get done with their list, they can read that. And I'm gonna try to be quiet. So sweet. This is the backseat. I was the secrets in the backseat. You make me happy, happy. My lipstick on the cigarette. Just and you stop it out, out, out. And there whiskey when you kiss my neck. We've been hurting, but it's happy out, out, out. All right, 1 minute left. No pressure, but there might be a prize for the person who has the most people on their list.
Can y'all hear?
No. Good try though.
I was playing the Jeopardy music. I figured Zoom doesn't like it whenever you try to like have music. It's like, no.
Your intentions were there. Okay, pins down, everybody. Like for real, you got to put your pins down on our system.
All right. So y'all count up the amount of names that you wrote down. And then I want you to raise your hand. You can do your little virtual hand. If your camera's not on, you can do your real hand. It doesn't matter. If you got 10 names.
We got 10. Anybody got 10? 10 names, 10 names. Go
Or if
ahead.
you want to put it in the comments, you can do that too.
Okay, Delma says yes. She got 10.
Delma got 10. Anybody
Okay,
else?
she's winning right now. Did anyone else get 10?
It's a good giveaway. I would want it.
I have a fly bothering me. Okay, well.
All right, Delma.
Winner, winner,
You
chicken dinner.
just won a $20 Starbucks gift card. So congratulations.
Woo.
Go get you a good old, oh, so did Bree. Okay, wait a second, maybe not.
Oh, we have another contender. You guys got to be quick. We're serious.
No, it's okay.
Difficulty.
Okay. Keep your hand raised if you had 20. Oh, she sent it personally to somebody.
Oh.
Or do we want to say split it down the middle and give them both a $10 Starbucks gift card? I'm good with either one.
Let's do it.
Okay. So Delma and Bree, you both got a Starbucks gift card. And you should try their white chocolate mocha latte because it's the best thing in the whole world.
I'm gonna try that one. Okay, what's next? Is it my turn or your turn?
Yours.
Okay, it's my turn. Okay, y'all don't freak out. All right, this next part's actually really fun. So what we're gonna do is we are going to invite those people to learn more. Okay, so here's how it's gonna go. All right, we're gonna send a couple of messages to the chat. These are ideas. You do not have to copy and paste them verbatim. We'd actually love if you would put your own spin on them because we want it to sound like you. It is you offering up this idea to someone else. We want it to sound like you, okay? And we're going to invite them to learn more. We're going to host a messenger event tomorrow night, which basically means that we're going to have a little Facebook Messenger group. And if they say yes, they want to come, then we can invite them to that. And we're going to share stuff about products and testimonies. Yeah. So this is the fun part. We get to do scary things together. Okay. So look at your list and let's try and pick let's try and pick 3 people to message while we're all on the phone together. And then once you send a message, shout yourself out in the chat so we can give you snaps. We are going to drop there's 2 messages in the chat. And this is kind of for some of you have started products yet and some of you haven't. And so that's kind of the differences between the messages. Make sure to pay attention if there's like a blank that you fill in the blank. And yeah, so go ahead and read through those. We're going to give y'all like 5 minutes and let's see if we can get out 2 or 3 messages.
Delma has already got her sister this month on Plexus. That's great. Heck yeah. Is that the first VIP? So are we 2 from silver? That's huge.
Oh, she had a reset code. Oh, thank you for saying that, Maddie. If you are on here and you signed up in March, you get a free reset that you get to gift to someone with their first order. And so make sure you get with your sponsor because we want to help you use that code. That like Plexus has never done that before. And I think it's really cool. So that will be really, really fun. Okay, you have about 30 more seconds. And I know this was not a lot of time, but truth be told, this is kind of how I work my business, y'all. I set timers for myself to do certain tasks so I don't get off task. And so this is kind of a fun little tool you can use moving forward. But yeah, okay. Raise your hand if you sent one message or put yourself in the chat. Me. Yeah. Crushing it. Good job, Delma. And when we get off the call, if you still want to message people, text your sponsor and tell them like, okay, I still want to message people and maybe they can hop on a call with you and keep working with you because truthfully, it's more fun with friends. And whenever people respond to you, you can just message your sponsor and say, here's what they said. What do I say back? So Blake is going to chat a little bit about that and then we're going to let y'all go.
What was I chatting about? I'm sorry. I was being distracted over here.
Oh, you're fine. Do you want me to tell them about if they want to make a post?
Oh, I can.
Okay.
So if you're feeling real spicy and you're like, well, I done got warmed up now, we have something called a shout out post. So basically what you're doing is just shouting your sponsor out for getting you started. And the reason why I love shout out posts is because even if you don't want a business out of this, if you don't want to jump all in, people love to follow a journey. People love, even though everyone thinks like social media is so negative and social media is, not fun anymore. I disagree. I watch people who just love to root other people on. And so if you start and you're like, shout out to Brittney Duke for getting me started on these gut health products. They have helped her with bloating, energy, and mood. And I'm really hoping that they help me with my inflammation and my headaches. I'm starting today. I'll keep y'all updated, but I'd love to have some accountability partners. So if anyone wants to do this with me, if you have a code, I've got a code to save you about 90 bucks. Or if you don't have a code, be like, I just need some accountability. Who wants to try this with me? And then here's the brilliance in that. In 3 weeks, if you are feeling so much better, if you're missing that afternoon nap, if you're skipping a cup of coffee in the evenings, you can get on there and be like, okay, y'all, I told you I'd keep you updated. Here's what's happened. And people love to follow that versus hey, I've been on these products now and I lost 50 pounds. Look at me. They're like, whoa, where'd this come from? You know? So I love to start out with like, I'm about to start a journey. So if you're thinking about that, the great thing about shout out post too is your name automatically goes into a drawing for $50. I know that Bree on here has already done a shout out post. So shout out to Bree. If anyone else has already done it, kudos to you as well. I just don't actually know that part. But you go into a drawing for $50 cash. So there's an option from that. If you have any interest or anything like that, that's what your sponsor is there for. So don't feel like you need to know literally anything. You don't. You have your sponsor there to help you with any questions or interest or anything like that.
Yeah, and kind of like what Blakelee did, you can always come up with the post together too. Like you can kind of collaborate on that. Okay, y'all, we want to let y'all go. We appreciate your time so much tonight. We hope you had a little bit of fun. We hope you felt a little bit inspired and just kind of curious to maybe explore this a little bit more. We're a fun group of people. We're just a bunch of regular old gals that are just kind of like, you know, I think there's more for me in this life. And I don't know. I just hope that you guys are excited. Even if you just stay wonderful product takers, we love that. And we're excited for your health wins as well. So thanks for being on tonight. Please message the person who invited you, give them feedback, let them know what you thought. Yeah, and that's all. Thanks for being here, guys.
Good night, y'all. Thanks for coming.